Welcome to the Aftermarket Report with Vegas and Jim. Today's date is April the 28th, 2019, Sunday's edition. And please subscribe and ring that bell to our YouTube channel. And I'm going to hand this straight over to Miss Vegas. She's going to give us our watch list.
Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to those of you in other continents. I just wanted to because we just hadn't done a video in the last few days, so we'll be back on track tomorrow. But please get your pen out because we have a lot of stocks to talk about, especially some really great swing ideas and option ideas. And you can even use some of these definitely for day trading. So we're going to talk about AMD, CAT. We're going to talk about F for Ford, Disney, IRBT, HEXO, INUV, MOBL, RADA, and ZYNE. So we're now going to start with AMD. And so you guys know AMD has earnings coming up on Tuesday. And my goodness, I wonder what those are going to look like. This is advanced micro, they're in the technology semiconductor space. There's been a lot of good news about AMD and that, they're the first world's first 32 core processor, apparently the world's most powerful desktop processor all in one. They also have new Chromebooks for education. So you know what? They have their earnings coming up on Tuesday, and I believe it's going to be after hours. So I am going to be excited to see what that's all about. I mean, everyone can predict it's going to be good, it's going to be bad. You know what? Nobody really knows, but I'm going to say that I hope it's going to be good. The earnings will be 5:30 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, and we'll see. Now, they did also have some news not too long ago, and one of the pieces of news they had is that they did expand their product family. They add their ads design wins and Ryzen embedded R1000. So, as you guys know, AMD's in Taiwan, and they announced this Ryzen product. They're saying that this is on top of the success of the Ryzen V1000. And so we'll see what the earnings is going to be all about. And well, I guess I'll turn it over to Jim on the chart because I want to hear about the chart.
Oh, yeah, the chart was just beautiful. I'm posted up here the 1 year chart. We did have a bottom right around this 659 area, double bottom, which was a real solid support, and she's ran up ever since for about, good 5 months here. Pretty good little upward wedge pattern, or upward channel. Last week, we called this thing out. We said it was going to pull back to a support level, and we'll pull up a 20-day chart. I had this support level right here around the 27.14 to 27.25 area. And then I pointed out to Miss Vegas, I said, I'm going to get into the option play on this one right here. This is AMD when it hit that 27.25. And then we hit that after hours. As it pulled back, we had a pretty good little sell-off. I'm going to pull up the 5-day or the 10-day. And you see right here we had that sell-off last Thursday. And so I just waited patiently for the next sell-off to come down and hit this support level here at 27.25. And I shouted this out in the room. Miss Vegas and I decided we'd go ahead and jump in the option play on it. So I got in down here. And then after hours, she created a little ascending triangle pattern to right around the 27.92. Closed at 27.88. So support level on this, if it decides to pull back, it's going to be, the first one's going to be right here, right around the 27.59. Whoop, better change that. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up to a 1-day daily and get a better look at it. 1 day, 3 minute. 1 day, 1 minute. So I'm thinking support's right around here at 27.58 if it decides for a low support to pull back. If not, we've got a pattern where she wants to break out. She did after hours hit that 200 SMA on the daily 1 minute. We need to break a resistance of 27.98 to get up past 28.03. And I'm going to pull up the 20-day chart one more time and give you a couple long resistances at, which needs to be right here around the 28.69 to 28.79 that needs to break to bring it up to that $30 level that Miss Vegas called back about 3 weeks ago. She was only 5 cents off on that trade. It did hit the 29.95. So if we can break that 29.95, we're going to break that 30, and that's going to be real good. And I'm very bullish on AMD. Any kind of pullback is a strong support. And I'm saying that 27.25 was a perfect call to get in Friday on that options play. And that's AMD. Next one we're going to talk about, Miss Vegas, is?
So the next one we're going to talk about is called CAT for cat. And this one here, I'm very impressed with. I mean, this was actually on the scanner. This is, Caterpillar. And, they do with the construction machines. You should probably see them all over. But this has been on scanners nonstop, cat. And you know what? This had a nice pullback at one time, but very nice movement on cat. Um, and they did mention that they had some good earnings. I mean, I think they did report, let's see, so it looks really good, very strong here. They reported on the 24th, and they did mention that the sales and revenues were up 5%. They also repurchased $700 of company stock, and the profit per share outlook was 1206 up to 1306, and the record first quarter profit per share. So that is really, really good. I really have to say that they talked about the 2019 outlook, and the company's been around for 90 years. I mean, they're a good company. So I want you to keep an eye on CAT, really maybe an options perspective, unless of course you have a larger account, you're interested to actually trade the stock longer term. It's actually a really good swing trade setup, but really liking this from an options perspective on CAT. So we'll be looking at some options. I can't tell you right now which ones I'm going to look at. I'll probably know more tomorrow. So I will post on social media tomorrow once I find out an option play. But I'm really liking. And Jim, over to you on Caterpillar.
All right. CAT, C-A-T. We had a pullback support right here last Thursday at 134.17, which is a very, pretty low support level, with another one right down here right around the 136.16. So I'm going to call them two supports, and then I'm going to put another one right here at 137.79. We do have a resistance high up here at 144.63, and that's what we need to break to bring it up to the next level of 145.78. Now this is on the 20-day chart. So I'm going to pull up the 1 year, just have one little look at it. We do have support, low support down here at the 100 SMA at 132.83 if it decides to pull back. That's where I'd want to probably go to. We did also have the 200 here at 135.54 on the yearly daily chart. So I'm going to pull it up to the 5-day or that 20-day again. This is how I see it. I see a pullback support maybe at 136.13 solid. And if it wants to break, it needs to break this resistance level we're at right now. We did close at 139.03. And we got a whole new level to bring it up to, and that's right around this 142, 141.90 to 144.63 to break the resistance of that and then get up to 145.78. Now this is CAT, so keep a good eye on it next week. And the next one we're going to talk about is going to be a really good call that Miss Vegas did Friday on an options play, and that's Ford.
Yeah, so you know what? I want to talk about. So I want to first of all thank the Trade Exchange team because they have been my news feed lately, and I got to tell you, I'm in love with them, and I'm so happy that we are collaborating with Trade Exchange. I love them and immensely, and I really wouldn't be saying this if they really haven't been providing me and providing us real-time fast news. And I have used many news services before, and I got to tell you, this got to be the best. And I love them. And if you're interested in trying them out, I'll give you guys a special code you guys could use because they do charge for the fee, monthly fee um, of $44.95, but they do have a promo that they're willing to give for $9.99 for a 1 month trial if you use code Vegas. So I'll put the it yourself. I got to tell you, I'm not even joking. This thing just pays for itself, and I'll tell you why. So they alerted the news feed on Ford having some sort of collaboration with Amazon Web Services. and they signed on a deal. I think it was $500 million contract. And obviously, when Ford, has their cars, their trucks, they're going to have web services attached to the vehicle. So obviously, in the car, you could do obviously GPSing, so many things you can do with the online platform that's in your car. So I was reading that news and I thought right away, oh my gosh, we should really, Ford stock's probably going to start moving. So I did alert an options call, and I got to tell you, we were on this right away. So we alerted the option call for the $10 strike, and we actually had that one expire for April 26th. And Jim could actually show you. Angelar is one of our members in the room, and I had Rich type up the idea because I was just so busy talking about it on voice. And you know what? She shared it with two people that she knows that are not even in the room, and she was happy to let us know that two people that she knows, one person made $2,100, and Jim, I think you could show her feedback.
Yep.
And someone else made $683. And I got to tell you, the contracts were 10 cents. So we're talking $10 investment for one options contract for the $10 strike. And we were on it immediately. And you know what? If someone would have even put $100, okay, that's $10, 10 contracts, 10 cents, they would have made, the contract went up to over 25 cents a contract. That's over $15 a contract. So you would have made over 100%. You would have made 150% profit on your investment of $100 back plus an extra 150. And you know what? Depending on how many contracts you buy, obviously the more money you're going to make. But this is why I love this for small accounts. So thank you so much to Trade Exchange. Give me that news. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to find these contracts so fast and get on this. So Jim, over to you on the chart, because I still believe that Ford has room to go.
Yep. Sweet. There we go. So here's the Ford. We're going to pull up, first we're going to pull up the 1-year chart on Ford. You see I've been watching this thing for at least 3 years. Last year's, and then I got the red lines in there for support levels, and then we've got the blue ones here that I've been watching this year. We were in a channel, and it looked to me like a pretty good little pennant flag here for the last 3 months. You see how it kind of formed a flag there after that good breakout. And then them earnings came out, and also the forecast came out, and they said it was probably one of the strongest earnings they've had in over a decade on Ford. And they were calling this thing to pull back more, analysts were, but Vegas and I, we weren't on to that too much. We figured this thing was going to run back up to the resistance level that we had at 1050 at one time. And we came real close to it. It did hit 1045, and then we've got, this is a stock that's not going to run up a lot. It's not like, it's a killer bee or nothing, but definitely that last forecast and the sales really gave us the momentum to maybe break that 1050 area. So we're going to pull up the 20-day right now. We do have two support levels that I think it can pull back to, and we're going to have that 1016 for your second support. Your first support is going to be right around the 1025, which was the high that we had more or less on Thursday. And it did get up to a previous high of 136, so that's going to be your first support. Then you got these other two, which is in that channel right there at the 1016 level to 1025. And if it gets down to about $10, that's going to be your strong target to buy it at. That's going to be your low support right around 1004. So we're going to see this thing break. We want it to break the 1045 and move up to the next levels. And I'm going to pull this 1-year chart up here one more time and give you that resistance level. That resistance level is going to be right around the 1068 to break the gap, to bring it up to about 1080. And then maybe if she has the mustard, she can go ahead and get up to about 11 bucks. If not, it's going to pull back to that $10 area, and that's going to be a strong buy. And this is Ford. And the next one we're going to talk about is another great call that we made, that Miss Vegas made in the room, and it is called, and everybody knows it, Disney.
Oh my gosh, can I just tell you? So Disney was amazing call. And I'm not just saying that because I really tried to, it is really about research and reading and analyzing charts and analyzing the information that you do read. So it is called studying. It's not something you just, I'll just buy this just because. So I was doing a lot of research and reading about Disney, and I really felt that the stock was on a bullish trend, especially with the Avengers, Game of Thrones. And Disney did look extremely promising. It looked like for sure it had some momentum in the stock. So, again, the stock is so expensive. I mean, unless you have a lot of money to buy the shares, I mean, you're going to have to put a lot of money in here to make some money. So we decided, of course, let's go to the option route. And what a call we did. I called Disney last Thursday. So not the Thursday that just went by, but the one before. And Jim could show you the option call. Actually, not. I think. Yeah, there it is, Jim. The second one. So Disney calls 140 strike, expiring May 3rd. I said these are cheap for small accounts. They were 50 cents. Do you know what they are today? Well, you know what? They're going to be worth a lot of money because guess what? The Disney call on Friday, the stock went up after hours. They're going to be worth a lot of money tomorrow. The option contract went from 50 cents, which is a $50 investment, went all the way up to $2.17, which is $216. So, I mean, if you would have even spent just one contract and put in $50 because, you have a small account, well, your $50 has turned into now. So you want to talk about a 400% return? I mean, that is just incredible to see this kind of action on options. And this is why I really love options for small accounts. There's really a good opportunity to grow your account exponentially. And I mean, obviously, the maximum you would lose would be $50 and pulls back and you're down on your contract. You could also close your contract sooner and not necessarily lose the full $50. Okay. So another really good example of Disney. We're on this one. We have the ones from May 3rd. We even have contracts for the $150 strike. That doesn't mean that the stock's going to go to 150 just yet. Maybe long term, it might. But when you buy a strike price for a higher price, the fact that the stock is bullish and it keeps moving at the price that it's at, that contract that you buy is still going to be worth more money. So it is all about the strategy and techniques that you use. Also, open interest and the volatility and the volume play an important role. So, Jim, over to you on Disney.
All right, Disney itself. Here's the year's chart on Disney. We did have a nice little 2-week breakout on this. I mean, this has just been a wonderful call from the get-go. Miss Vegas got in this at a very early stage. I can't remember exactly. It was down here between this gap area when she called it out, and then we had the next day. It was probably one of her great trades of the year, actually. And then we hit a high Friday at 140.04, and she's done nothing but gone. We got three white soldiers right here in a row here in the last 3 days on Disney. And it does have that new movie coming out, plus that new TV thing that's coming out. And let's look at the 20-day chart here. I always like looking at that 20-day to try to find a support level. We've got one right here, right around the 136, 137 area. Another one right around 138, and I'm just drawing these up right now at 139.16. So we're going to pull up, and this, to me, let me look at the 3-year high on this, because I think it is a 3-year high. But we'll double check. Yeah, we're up here at a 3-year high, which is just beautiful on this trade. And our forecast was 140, and Miss Vegas thinks it's going to go up more. So we're going to look at the 20-day right now, and we just did that. And then we're going to pull up the 5-day, or 1 minute, 5 minute. I'm going to draw another couple trend lines in here for pullback support, 139.73. And then you can see how she jumped up after hours and created new highs. We're going to have another one right here, right around the 140.39. And we are up here after hours at 140.98. Beautiful, just beautiful. Bring it to 1 minute. And I see one more trend line right here. So this is how I'm going to call this trade out. We got a low support at 138.53 if it decides to pull back. That's 138.53 with the next support level right around the 139.16 to 1. And then maybe if she decides to hit the tops that we had here for the first support will be between 139.73 and 140. And then maybe pull back to this 140.39. But the way it's continued right now, we're in this ascending pattern, moving straight up. It's going to pull back just a little bit, then probably go ahead and break that high of 140.98 up to 141, and then go ahead and break past that. So this is Disney. It's a beautiful trade from 116 call. I think that's about where she called this out at for the first, before that huge breakout. And I can't say but nothing but beautiful. And Undolay or Undollar, good job on this call to your friends. Disney is it. So the next one we're going to talk about is going to be IRBT. Hello, Miss Vegas, are you there? Well, we're going to pause this for just a few seconds, and we'll be right back. Well, we're back, and here is Miss Vegas on IRBT.
Okay, so IRBT is iRobot Corporation, and they are obviously in the consumer goods and appliances. You know, maybe some of you have this. This is iRobot. This is the one that has the robot vacuums. They have robot mops. They also have pool cleaners. And maybe some of you are actual customers of this. I mean, I personally don't have one of these products, but I got to tell you, I'm interested in the one called the Brava Jet. It's a precision spray robot mop, and it actually mops floors, tackles dirt stains and grime on wood floor or tiles. I'm thinking I might want to try that out if it actually goes on sale. It's about $199. So I'm going to keep a watch on this one. But anyways, why I bring stock to your attention. So one of the members in our room, Rich, he's been watching this stock, and he's the one that called out a beautiful, beautiful option opportunity here. And this was for IRBT, and the strike price is going to be for May 17. So we're talking 2 more good weeks as of this week. So two extra weeks, almost 3, like all of this week and all of next week and all the week after. So we got 3 good weeks. This is the 110 strike, and he alerted this at 80 cents. And part of the one here is also it's setting up for shorts to get squeezed. And looks like they had their earnings, and people may, let's say, have maybe dumped the stock because there was a bit of a pullback. But let me tell you, the at the close, this kind of looks like the calm after a storm. I mean, this did cross over the 200-day moving average, and you know what? After hours, this had a nice move. It went from $100, because I was watching this. This was around 99 and change, and it was hovering. And we thought, okay, if this closes at least $100, we'll be happy with the close, and we'll see what it does Monday. Well, you know what? It previously closed at $100.04, but you know what? After hours, this went to 102.7. It did pull back a little, but we'll have to see how this continues tomorrow. So this is on an active options play, and this is the May 17 strike, the 110 strike, and we paid 80 cents. We're around 103 at the moment. As of Friday. But again, that was based on the fact that the stock at the time was $100. Now that it went up after hours, I'm sure the option call is worth a lot more. So we'll have to see how it acts tomorrow, but keep this on your watch. And I'd like Jim to talk about this chart, because it's been pretty quiet, but I saw a lot of buying coming in. I got it coming in, no word of a lie, at 3:57 p.m. Suddenly a huge volume surge on the stock. So Jim, over to you on this chart.
Yeah, I'm looking at the early chart right now, and that was a good support level to get in at that 97.49 area. You see, we were right down here before on the trend line, and I'm pretty solid about that support level right there at 97.48. So this is on a year's chart, and it ran all the way up and tried to hit a double top here right around the 130.80 area. So let me change this thing here, and let me put that up here for resistance level right around 130, right around 131, 130.99. We did have a 132.88. We also have a target up here around 115.66. You see where she pulled back and created that V and bounced up for the double top. So that was a good entry point right down here at that 97.48. I'm going to pull up the 20-day and look at the 20-day real fast. It really took a big hit off their earnings call that they made, but the forecasts were beautiful, and it did bounce up from that 96.50, which I have a 97.57 support level here on the trend. And I'm going to take this blue thing out of here so we can get a better look at it. We do have a resistance level. We got a break at the 105.21, And if we can break that 105.21, we're going to hit the 109.34. And then we've got a couple other resistance lines to get to, and that's going to be right here at the 112.58. And then we have that support level right down here, which has become a new resistance at 116.44. And this is on the 20-day chart. Pullback support, I'm going to go ahead and draw in a 99.88 in case it does pull back. It can do that because that's about where she closed up there at 104 cents. So that also could be another support level here, and I've got that, what, 101.51. So I'm going to pull up the final chart to give you the final analysis of this trade. I'm going to go pull to the 5-day, 5-minute. We got a low support right here at 97.48. I'm going to say low support. If that low support hits, it's going to go ahead and retrace and bounce on up. The next support level is going to be at the 99.88 area. We don't really want it to go below $100 because that might get new sellers in here. Then the first support is going to be right here at 101.51. After hours, we did run up to 102.75. The resistances we got to break after that will be 105.21 up to that new gap up there to the 109.34, and that's probably be a good spot for it to hit a hard resistance right there at the 109.34. This is IRBT. I'm not going to jump right in it. I missed the options call on it, but I can only do so many a day. My account's not up that high yet. I'm a beginner options trader, and I'm thanking Miss Vegas for everything that she's taught me so far in the process. This is IRBT, and the next one we're going to talk about is going to be HEXO.
Yeah, so this one here is HEXO Corp. So I want to thank Clay for bringing that one to our attention. So HEXO, I mean, this is a marijuana stock. And, I think I heard of the stock. I've never actually traded the stock. This has got a new 52-week high. And they're into all kinds of things. They're into healthcare. They're a Canadian company. They also did announce that they did have their first harvest, I think, back on April 1st. And they did mention that they completed the first harvest. They have believe it or not, a 1 million square foot expansion. This is insane, like 1 million square foot greenhouse construction. This is nuts. That is massive. So they did complete the first harvest in their 1 million square foot greenhouse. And this was a lot of work by the team, as mentioned by the founder of the company, who's also the CEO, one of the Sébastien Saint Louis. And, currently at this company, 600 employees. They actually plan to hire, and this is why I like the stock as well. They're looking to plan to hire 500 employees in the next few months, whether it's the next 2, 3, or 6, it doesn't matter. They're going to have 3 additional jobs at its campus in Gatineau, Quebec, and they're also going to have 200 positions between Belleville, Toronto, and Montreal. So this company is growing. They did acquire New Strike Brands Limited, and the acquisition has allowed the company to boost its production capacity to 150 kilograms annually and also diversify their domestic market penetration to 9 provinces and also add infrastructure, supporting the company on its goal of one of the top cannabis companies in the world. Also, this company, HEXO, they're partnering with Fortune 500 companies, bringing brand value and cannabinoid isolation technology. Okay, so this is one of the largest licensed cannabis companies in Canada. They also operate with 1.8 million square feet of space in Ontario and Quebec, and they also have a footprint in Greece because they're looking to establish a Eurozone processing, production, and distribution center. So this company, thank you so much to Clay to bring this to our attention. I'm really liking this company. I wouldn't be shocked if down the road we could see this company either buying something else and expanding, or maybe this company partnering with another company, like one of those other bigger marijuana companies. So this company is looking really good, and I really love this chart. And Jim, over to you on HEXO.
Okay. I'm going to pull it, and that you see that website I just told you, they're definitely a growery. So let's go up to the 1 year chart on HEXO, HEXO, and it's a Canadian related company, which Canadian is pushing a lot of the industry right now, the sector itself. We called this out back during the Farm Bill last year and the legalization of the marijuana, medical marijuana, and recreational up in Canada. So the first support on this thing, HEXO, is going to be right here, right around low support. It's going to be right around here on the year. You see, we did try to touch it up. You got a low support at $7. Then that's low. That's going to be strong buy, $7. And then you got another one right here. That's at $7, 709 area. And I'm going to go ahead and type that in here. And then your next support level, which is going to be your second right here at 725, or could be your third. And then we're going to pull up the 20-day chart. We do have, like she said, a year high on it. And I'm pretty sure it's a 3-year high. We're going to pull up the 3-year chart just to have another look, just to make sure that I'm not mocking myself. Yes, 3-year high. So we're going to pull up the 20-day. Definitely had a beautiful run Friday. Ran all the way from that top at 725. You see we did touch that once, and it did pull back to low support of 657. And then she went ahead and she had a nice little channel wedge, ascending wedge moving up to break that resistance level at 725. So that's going to be our solid support, 725. And I'm going to go ahead and call these other 3 support levels out. And that's going to be the 755, the 762, and the 774. And the resistance we got to break right now, we're kind of into a blowhorn pattern at the end of the day. So this could pull back a little bit. Pull back to that 755 area. If it does, that's fine because it'll bounce right back up. Resistance we got to break is going to be that 788. And when I say blowhorn, this is what I call a blowhorn pattern forming right here, because you got your higher highs and you got your ascending top right here, which is more or less going to be the neckline right down here, right around the 780 area. So that's a nice little channel right there. And I'm adding that trend line to that because of what happened after hours. We did hit that thing 3 times, and then it went ahead and bounced up and hit that 788 4 different times in a 1 hour pattern. So I'm pretty sure this thing's going to be a good runner. You can see we did have a little pennant flag right here come out Friday, and then she broke out of that pennant flag and created into a rectangular channel after hours. So the low support, low supports 725. Your second channel of support is going to be right here in the 755 to 762 area, and then your first resistance is going to be right around that 774, and that's not much of a spread from the top that's got to break at 788. And keep this one on watch, and keep that sector on watch. You know, CGC, we also called that baby out. She hit a pretty good high. We got ACB on the list. And we have InBev also on the list for my favorite stocks in that sector right now. And then don't forget about Tillery. And the next one we're going to be talking about is going to be INUV.
Oh my gosh, this company is really interesting. This company is a market leader in artificial intelligence for e-com. So I really like artificial intelligence. And they do so many different things. I mean, Jim can show you the website there. They have so many different things that they do, but you can definitely check them out, and you can see more about what they do and the company. But they are, I like this one here because of the fact that it's had a new 52-week high. It's taken a long time for this stock to start moving into a new channel. I mean, we're talking back in November, they had a nice move. And then ever since then, it's not been able to break that high. And finally, we see some activity on INUV. And what I like about this, aside from the 52-week high, I like that it's in a new uptrend because finally it's going to expand and potentially look to break out. We had a nice volume surge. The stock is on the overbought stochastics, and I think it's going to be overbought for a while. So definitely for day traders or swing traders, you should definitely be watching this one on your watch list. And, you know, for me personally, I mean, I like the stock very much. And if I look at the actual chart on INUV, when I chart it myself, and Jim will give you supports and resistance. I mean, I got to tell you, all my lines are maxed out on this. I don't have any new lines for INUV. So, Jim, I'm going to turn it over to you and tell us what we could see potentially next, because I haven't seen any movement like this since November. And I'm really happy to see it's on a beautiful new uptrend and nice crossover with the MACD.
Okay, definitely look at that 20-day. Ain't that pretty? It's going to pull up the 1 year. I always like to look at that 1 year. We do have a breakout of a 1 year high here at 167 with a low support right down here, right around the 147. I have this charted out from last year. I haven't looked at it since. You can see we did break that resistance level, so that brings me to the idea that we did have a 3-year high on this. And look at that. Am I not wrong? Or am I not right? Or am I wrong and right? I can be both. So we've got a 169 we got to break, and then we got a couple other highs up here, and I'm going to trigger them at about 178, 170, 180. That's going to be our resistance, so I'm going to erase this line right here and change it to 180. That's a beautiful little spot, and look at that. We had a 3-year high up here on a major breakout at 231. And ever since that major high, she pulled back to a yearly support here at 36 cents. I wish I'd have caught this back then. Man, look at that, 36 cents. And here we are at 166. That's almost a 500% or more than a 500% increase from that 36-cent level. Pretty close to 500%. So we're going to pull up the 20-day chart, and that's only in a couple of months. So let's pull up, let me see, that 1 year again. No, that ain't the 1 year, that's the 1 month. So I'm seeing a low support on this trade right around 149, 148 level, where that blue line is. At 148 is very important. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and erase all these out. No, I'll just leave them the way they are. I'll erase them later. We had a year high right here of right around 154, so I'm going to change that line to blue. Get this all charted out as I go on. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull up the 1 day, 3 minute. Or let me pull up the 20-day. I'm drawing this out and learning as I go here. I got another support right here at 162 on the 20-day. So those are my 3 little support level lines. We have 148 for low support, 154 for your second, and then your first support is going to be right here at 162. We do have a little blowhorn pattern going on where we did create a low right there at 164 right into close. She did close at 166. So resistance we got to break is going to be that 167 area to bring it up to 169. So this is INUV. I'm going to keep it on watch next week for a pullback right maybe at that 154 level. If it holds at 154, I would expect a retracement back up to 164 for a scalp. This is going to be a scalper play for me if I decide to play it. INUV.
Yeah, I just want to mention too that they're going to have an update in May, May the 8th. They're going to have an update, but they did have an announcement April 15. I'm sorry, I just found this article here.
Yep.
That they are doing a merger. So they're merging with a company called Conversion Point Technologies. And the merger was apparently announced back in November, but it's finally closing. This merger's closing. So that's why we're also seeing the move on this, because on the 15th of April, they did announce they have filed publicly a registration statement with the Securities Commission. So they did file an S1. So Conversion Point is going to have shares available on NASDAQ, waiting for how many shares, because we don't know how many shares will be listed on the common stock. So this is really good news for the company. So I think that this is not a scalp play for me. This will probably be a nice swing trade. So I'm looking to hold this stock longer. I do not have a position in the stock, but I will be looking to get some and looking to see at least maybe a 20-cent move on the stock. But I'm going to wait for the support and pullback and then go from there. But definitely not looking for scalping on this one. Looking at this for a swing trade because I really like this news and where this could go. So that's my thoughts on INUV. And the next one we're going to talk about is on MOBL, MOBL. So this stock here, we did alert this as a swing trade people did day trade it. This is called Mobile Iron Inc. They are a technology and software company, and you can research them here. Jim has the website there on Mobile Iron. And they provide enterprise security for what they call perimeter-less world. And you could find out more about them if you want to go on the website. But you know what they do, their mission really is that people can just, have, I guess, what they call your data is no longer limited to your data center and corporate owned devices. So they're saying that, your data is on your device and cloud, and you own those, and then sometimes you don't. So they have what they call perimeters that helps you secure all that data that's on your platforms and on your cloud. So you can actually protect what they call your cloud services from unauthorized apps and devices. So this is an interesting company. They have over 17,000 customers right now, which is actually, quite a bit. I would think they would have more. But anyhow, this one here, I like the chart. It's on a new uptrend, new 52-week highs as well. And I actually think that from a swing trade perspective, we could probably see the stock. It's on an expansion breakout. It's also got one of my favorite setups, the pocket pivot. And so I actually think the stock has movement to potentially maybe even $7.50 to $8 on this stock. I also tried to look at some block trade reports just to see how the stock is performing. And when I look at the block trade reports on MOBL, and when I say block trade, I want to see how much money is actually flowing into this actual stock on MOBL. And there was quite a bit of money flowing in. I mean, not millions of dollars, but there was a lot of block trades for about 25,000 shares each block, which is about $150,000 going into the stock. So I do see it poised for a higher move. And Jim, I'll turn it over to you to talk to us, please, about that beautiful chart.
Okay, this is MOBL. MOBL. Pull up the chart here. We got the 20-day. Looking at that, just kind of get a look at it. We did have a high up here at one time, right around the 582 area. So I'm going to put that as a low support. And when I say low, that means that sometimes it's below the third support. Low, when I mention that, that means a strong buy. I always remember that when I'm saying low. And we're going to pull up the yearly chart on it. We did have a yearly high breakout. I'm going to take a little drink here. We did have a high right here at one time where we had a double top breakout at 572. So that's going to be my second low support. We have a resistance high of 658 on the yearly chart. I'm just going to take one fast look at the 3-year because I always like to look at that when we have a year high. You see that double top area right here at 3 years at 660. So that's going to be my strong resistance to break. I got to break that 660 to bring it up to the next resistance of a double top of 678 on a 3-year chart. So we're going to pull back to the 20, and I'm going to give you an equilibrium on when to get in this stock. I think your low support, like I said, is going to be right around this 582, the low strong buy area. Can get down to 592. We're at 655 right now. We do have a good support system right here, right around the 620. I do like that 620 for a good solid support. And I'm going to put that in red because that's going to be my pullback area. Anything below that's going to be an oversold area. Then we have two other support levels. We do have a nice little breakout here into after hours. Nice little ascending pattern, pennant flag kind of, but an upward channel with higher highs and higher lows. So we need to break the resistance level of 668 to bring it up to that 775. So actually what I mentioned earlier, that 660 is going to be your strong resistance. If we can break that 660, it will bounce up to that 675 area because that will be your 3-year double top. And this is going to be MOBL. I'm going to repeat the support systems on this again. Low, it's going to be around 582 to 592 if it decides to pull back hard. Going to be a very strong buy. Solid support at 620. with your other little first support, maybe a pullback with a retracement bounce right off the bat from 330, could hesitate 330, 336, and we got to break that 660 resistance to get it to the 3-year high of 675. And this is going to be MOBL. Next one we're going to talk about is going to be one that we watch quite frequently, and it's called RADA, R-A-D-A.
Yes, RADA. So you guys know RADA is an Israeli company, and they're in Netanya, Israel. And they did make an announcement not too long ago, back on April 8th, so a couple weeks back. They did announce the receipt of over $6 million in new orders in the past month, which are expected to be delivered during 2019. Million is for RADA's software, RADAR, which is for International Counter UAV Solutions. And you guys know that RADA is obviously Israeli defense electronics company. And what they specialize in is in the development, production, and sales of what they call tactical land radars for force and border protection and avionics system, including in aerial navigation systems, which go in the fighter aircrafts. Love this company, love their product line. I got to tell you, the Israeli technology is the best in the world. I know for a fact because I've seen some of their technology. I've been in Israel twice. I have visited one of the companies that manufactures technology, and I got to tell you, technology is amazing. And you wouldn't believe it. Like, I got to tell you a quick story. But like they have like the Israeli technology show every year. And a friend of mine who goes there because he's in the industry was telling me that you wouldn't believe how many people actually come to the show. And I was like, from China? And he's like, he told me, yes. He says, you wouldn't believe they come with a briefcase full of cash, and said that sometimes when they see technology from the Israelis that are being showcased, so these are people that are like developing new technology and showcasing it, they get offers on the spot. They're like, yep, we love your technology. We want to buy the company. And they show them a suitcase full of money, and deals are made at these trade shows for potential buyouts and acquisitions. So just incredible. So, the United States military is huge customer of RADA as well, by the way. So Jim, I'm going to turn it over to you because this is a really cool website, and I love the stock right now. It's been disappointing in the past, but RADA finally has a nice pocket pivot, and I really like pocket pivots because now we are ready to probably make a move and have some sort of continuation on the stock. So keep RADA on your watch, either for a day trade or a swing trade. We need to see, obviously, a continuation and some volume, but it's starting to go in the new uptrend as well. We got very good support at the 50-day at 293, the 200-day at 285. And so, Jim, turn it over to you to give us the next levels of support and resistance.
Yeah, I'm drawing them up right now. So I'm thinking we have a low support on this trade, a low will be right around 308 to 316. We could probably hit this top here right around the 319 area, and that's right there where that 20-day SMA is at 319, 318. We do have a nice little channel right here that it's created, a rectangular channel here in the past 2 weeks. This is a yearly daily chart that I'm looking at with indicators of the RSI, the MACD, and the accumulation distribution channel right down here at the bottom. So we need to break the resistance of 330 to bring it up to new highs. This is a 1-year chart, and I'm going to pull up things. We're at that 3-year high resistance, which I do believe it can break. It's about time for it to, and that's also on the 3-year. You see what I'm saying right here at the 363 level. So that's going to be our target with one resistance, maybe another one right here, right around the 340. 340, 348, 363 are going to be your 3 resistances to bring it up to a double top of 386. And I'm going to put that line in here right now if I can get that. There we go. 386 area. So let's pull up the 20-day. I'm going to get a look at the 20-day, show you what kind of rectangular pattern we've had. It had pulled back here once to this 319, which I called out a little bit ago, with Thursday low with a candle wick, and I don't really put too much effort into the wicks. It's the base of the candle that gives me the strength, the mustard, and that's right here, right around 316. So that's going to be your low support, 316. I like to see that hold no lower than 316. If it does, you've got a strong buy at 308 to 310 on this trade. This is RADA. So we've got the resistance that we got to break is going to be that 330. I'm going to pull this back up to the year's chart. See if we can get, well, I'm going to pull it back up to the 3-year to get you the resistance levels. If we can break that 330, we've got four little resistance levels with 3-year high at 386, 348, 363, and 386. With that 20-day, I think I called her on the 1 year for a support level right around that 318 level, and I really do like that no lower than that 318 on this trade, because then I'll start to ponder to tell me to wait for it to get down to around 308. That's another 10-cent dive. So I'll be judging that 20 SMA right there at the 318 level for a good solid entry on this trade. If it holds that channel, it could just stop at 320. So somewhere in that area. And we do got to break the resistance of 330. So this is RADA, and the next one we're going to talk about is going to be it's going to be our last one today. And this is one we called out at a very low price, and she done nothing but run up. And that's, as Miss Vegas would say, ZYNE. I would say ZYNE.
Yeah, so this is ZYNE Pharmaceuticals. So, we talked about this last Sunday. And when we talked about it last Sunday, which was, sorry, not Sunday, last Monday, which was on April 24th, we talked about the stock, and we talked about how the stock had a nice close. I think it closed around cent and had very good volume that day, and that this was poised potentially definitely for a continuation. Is correct, because it's gone to 10.99, so almost a dollar a share. And this company has a lot of things in the pipeline. I mean, they're in the healthcare, biotech. If you check out their website, I mean, you could see they have so many things in the pipeline. They have like Connect FX, and they have a lot of action going on in 2019. They have a lot of things really look like they're going to start moving quarter of 2019, and so we'll have to see what happens with this company. But I really like so far what the chart's showing. Definitely some good movement here, some very nice 52-week high as well. So another one to definitely watch for a continuation. Maybe some pullback. This can't just be running forever unless they have some news out of nowhere. But again, a nice pocket pivot, a nice expansion breakout, and a beautiful parabolic rise. So this had a sharp rally on the stock on Friday. And this is going up, up, and up, Jim, the last 5 days.
All right. Let me get on to it here. And that's going to be ZYNE. And I'm a poet and I don't know it. ZYNE. Type it in real fast. So here's one that I pretty well got mustered up with all my trend lines on it. We do have a resistance level that we did hit, that I called out in the room at 1178 Friday. I said this thing was on fire. It really had a nice bounce off that $10. I said if this thing going to break 10, we were going to move on up. And this ran all the way up to 1178. And Miss Vegas called this out last Monday, like she said in our aftermarket report. And we're going to pull up the 1 year, or that was the 1 month. We did have the 1 year up there. You see where that high that we had in 1 year is up here at 1050. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit that. But I also want to see a little pullback here. And I'm looking at maybe a support level right around the 1093 and another one right here at the 1049 area. So let's pull up the 20-day. I'll get a better look at the 20-day. And I see another resistance we do have to break, and that's going to be 1120. Beautiful little pennant flag, ascending pattern right here with a resistance level at 1120 with a day high that we had up here at 1178. And another support level right here, right around the 1011 area. And that's right there where that 150 SMA is. So let's pull up the daily 3-minute. We did have that high here right out the morning. Beautiful little breakout from that $10 all the way up to 11.81, and then she consolidated and pulled back a few times. Had a few dead cat bounces where she bounced up and pulled back. Some would call it almost like a fish hook, but it's not really a fish hook. It's more of a descending pattern into a flag. And resistance we need to break is going to be right around this 1120 area. If not, it can pull back to support level, and that's right here at 1066, 1049, or 1011, somewhere in that area. And I'm going to put another trend line right here at the 1030 spot. We're very bullish on this trade, but it did kind of pull back after that beautiful run Friday morning. Ran all the way up for a couple hours, and then she pulled back and kind of consolidated to equilibrium right here, right around the $11 area after hours. And it did bounce up after hours. It did close at 10.99. We did have a high up here around 11.17, and it did pull back to 11.04. So any kind of pullback on this, it'd be around 1066. I'm pretty solid about that. If it breaks below that 1066, we're going to get back down to that low 10 area. Resistance we got to break is going to be right here at 1181. And that's going to be ZYNE. I say ZYNE. And that concludes our aftermarket report. And I know Miss Vegas has a little more she'd like to say, and I'm going to hand this straight over to her.
Okay, well, you know what, guys? This is a very bit lengthy because we told you Sundays is. Hopefully, there's a lot of good ideas for every type of account. Again, it's not just about the stocks. It's also about looking at options because really focused on helping small accounts grow. If you're not able to be in a room, that's fine. You have a full-time job. I mean, these are good swing opportunities for you to make money. We do these videos to prepare you for tomorrow. I mean, we even have people in the room that have a job full-time and they don't want to day trade. So they're interested in swing trade ideas. We have many that we've presented today. You can also follow us on Twitter. I usually post real-time ideas on there throughout the day. So you're welcome to check us out on the Twitter feed because a lot of people have Twitter on their phone. And I think that's probably the best way to get real-time alerts whenever we have a chance. Time. So thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great weekend. See you tomorrow and have a great trading week.
This is the aftermarket report with Vegas and Jim, April the 28th, Sunday's edition. Also, if you're watching this video, please subscribe and ring that bell for future updates and share it with your friends. We also have a website up called ilovestocks.com, and on that you can go to our Twitter link and also sign up on our Twitter page. And Vegas and I both have a Stocktwits account, which we truly love, and there's links on it for you, with also a Pinterest link and also a Facebook page link. So we do appreciate it, and there's one thing I want to leave with is that we love stocks.